Hey guys, Coach Bricks here. Listen, wanted to talk about speed, all right? Because I know so many people out there, all right, who parents, coaches, who all say the same thing. If my kid just had, or if my team just had more speed, we'd be able to do X, Y, and Z, compete, play better, do whatever. Okay. Here's the thing is, speed is something that you can work on. Okay. Now I know most people out there don't think of it, but speed is a skill. It's a skill that can be developed and can be refined to make something even great. Now, you got to learn how to run properly because the majority of people, especially in today's society with young athletes, don't run properly. And there's reasons behind that. I'm not just knocking them, but I think there's so much sedentary lifestyle, the sitting and all this kind of stuff that kids don't move enough for many different reasons has caused us to change our patterns, and it's not a good pattern change. Okay, so the body is not moving efficiently or effectively, and it's breaking down. So we want to make sure that we understand how to move properly. But speed is something that you could take to a whole other level. Just because you're slow now does not mean you're going to be slow for the rest of your life if you're willing to work on it. Now, you got to take it into context. Speed is something that we all should have. Okay, now different levels of speed. There's some people who are extremely fast. And there's some people who are okay, they're fast, but they're not really, blazing anywhere. We do not take enough time as individuals to work on this aspect of it. If you took a kid and you asked their parents, basketball, soccer, baseball, whatever, they will spend millions upon millions of dollars. Maybe not that much, but thousands of dollars and thousands of hours on improving a kid's hitting ability, fielding, dribbling a ball, shooting a ball. But they'll spend almost next to nothing on developing basic movement patterns as AKA speed. They just won't. You know, if it came down to it, what should they go do? As a 13-year-old, they're going to go to their hitting instructor over working on their speed where they really lack. And it's actually a basic principle and they're skipping over. I use this analogy all the time. I said, would you take a 5-year-old or maybe a 6 or 7-year-old and throw them into calculus? Not ever giving them any math, never giving addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. No, every single person I've asked would be like, that's stupid. That's dumb. Why would I ever do that? But yet, that is what we do every single time you take your child, okay, and you just focus on that skill development of whatever sport they're playing. It doesn't matter. They will never reach their full potential. I don't care how much they get. I don't care who they go to. They will never have it if they don't have the basics in place. And most people that I've seen, okay, and I've done this for 20 plus years, I'm not going to sugarcoat it like a lot of these trainers do. I'm not sugarcoating. Do not have the basic skills they need. Yes, some advanced skills, they look great, but then they eventually fall apart because the basis is broken. It's like building the pyramids. Let's not put the base on. We're just going to put the top on first and see how that holds. Doesn't work. It never has and never will. But that's what we do with athletes. We constantly pound them with all these advanced skills and we don't focus on it. You should be signing your kids up in the all season for speed work. They don't need more, holy crap, more hitting and more baseball. I know baseball kids that have not stopped throwing a ball or hitting in the last like 2 or 3 years. Yet I asked them, I said, you got a pro who makes 30, $40 million a year. Do you think they're hitting right now? No. They're relaxing, man. They're taking time off. Yet these guys make $40 million a year. You make zero. You're actually paying money to play. And you do it all the time. Don't you think they have a knowledge of maybe my body needs rest? And granted, you might not play 160 some games like some of these baseball players do, but some of these kids get up there in games. I mean, the amount of time that they play and the number of tournaments that they're in, it's astronomical. But yet there's no thought process behind it. They're not thinking like, well, maybe these guys don't do it. Why am I doing it? You should take time off. They're honestly, you should be taking time away from the sport. My girls take time off. I don't want them doing it all the time. You could switch a sport or just take time off and just train. Not train with all the sports skills, train strength wise, mobility, nervous system wise, all the things that they need speed wise. That's what they need to focus on. You wonder why kids are breaking apart. Excuse me. Why we have so many more injuries, why we have all this stuff. There's so many things that go into it, but one of them is they don't have the basis. There's no basis there. Just like the analogy I gave earlier with the math. No base with addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. How can you build upon math? How can you? It's extremely difficult. But that's what you're asking your kid to do. You're asking them to do these things. And then, heaven forbid, you actually have them strength train. My gosh, that's like taboo. They might get slow. They might get this. Oh my gosh, you can't have a kid at 8 years old strength train, but you can have them playing 19 different teams, playing all the time, all season round, and that's fine. It's not going to hurt them. Really? Do you see the logic that ever goes through people's heads and how they came up with this whole stuff? Like strength training should not be started till you're 16 because you might hurt your growth plates. You might stunt your growth. Wrong, incorrect. If you go to a dummy who doesn't understand it, correct, that could happen. Highly unlikely, but it could still happen. If you go to a knowledgeable person that understands the human body, which very few do, I understand that. But if you do, the chances of you actually getting hurt are slim to none. And actually, it's only going to prove you. But you keep playing the same sport over and over, especially these youth football kids. You run into each other, bang into each other, full force. But that is not as bad as somebody lifting weights, 5 pounds. Make it make sense to me. It doesn't. Because our philosophies and our ideas are all based on con people out there that have told lies for millennials. And then we just buy into it. Just as like the old adage is, well, you're just getting old. That's why you hurt. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It has no reason why you're hurt. Age has nothing to do with it. But we believe that that's because that's what we're told. We have to get over this. Speed is a skill. It can be developed, and it should be developed all the time. Okay, as long as you're going to play a sport, you should be working on it. Speed should be worked on by everybody until the day you die. Okay, but developing the correct speed, the correct mechanics, correct all that kind of stuff should be developed and worked on as individuals, just like you're going to try to go work on your skill for your sport. So don't neglect it. Get involved with a program that understands it. And there's a lot of programs that say they do speed work, have zero clue. Okay, they really don't understand the human body. They just take drills off of YouTube and say, hey, this looks cool. It's not how it works. Sorry, it's just not. You people pay good money to go to the best instructors of how to hit, how to catch, how to field, how to dribble a basketball, etc. You need to go people who are competent and understand it. And just because they say they do does not mean they really understand it. They need to know basic principles. They know what game speed is. Okay. Do they know how the fundamentals of acceleration work, fundamentals of deceleration? If they don't, if they're just making crap up because it sounds cool and they looked it up online, doesn't mean they understand it at all. Why does the human body stop the way it does? How can you get it to improve stopping? Do they know these? These are questions that you should ask, right? What are the heels designed on the human foot for? Bet you they have no idea about that. Zero idea why the heel is put on a foot, right? And it isn't for what most people think it's for. These are questions that should be asked, but speed is a skill, needs to be developed. You need to find somebody smart enough to understand it, teach the mechanics, teach all that stuff, because this is very, very, very important to an athletic career, not only just an athletic career, but a longevity career, because everybody should still be able to sprint till the day they die. Okay? Don't think you should. Hey, reach out, questions, concerns, let me know what's going on. Have yourself a blessed day and God bless you.